Oye, que lo que mi gente, yo soy Ricky de Bilingue Vlogs. Gracias por estar aquí conmigo viendo otro video. This is for the people that love la Isla del Encanto. A la gente que le encanta Bad Bunny. A la gente que le gusta la música de reggaeton, merengue, tú sabes, la salsa. I'm going to be giving you guys the best resources to learn Puerto Rican Spanish. Tú estás bien guiado, papi. Tú estás bien guiado. Pero ¿quién te cree? Tú eres el americano más dominicano. Where you come from, bro? Ahora tú te crees el americano más boricua. Te digo la verdad, tú no eres boricua. Mi loco, uno no tiene que ser de Puerto Rico para hablar como un boricua, ¿tú me entiendes? Tú no puedes hablar como nosotros, yo te voy a partir. Mi loco, pero suéltame en banda, yo soy profesor. Déjame enseñar a mis estudiantes. Tú estás bien guiado, papi. Tumba eso. As my guy pointed out, no, I'm not Puerto Rican. Yo soy el americano más dominicano. I learned how to speak Dominican Spanish. I learned how to speak Puerto Rican Spanish to an extent as well. Even if you're not Puerto Rican, you can learn to speak like them and learn to understand them because it can be a difficult accent to understand if you don't understand the characteristics. ¿Qué fue eso? Hay una guerra. ¿Qué es lo que está pasando allá afuera? So today I'm going to give you the resources to be able to figure out, you know, how they speak, what they're saying. Also have a video up here talking about the Puerto Rican Spanish accent. Pero vamos a seguir para adelante. So we're going to be going over the YouTubers, some, you know, TV/radio things you can listen to, some Instagrammers, TikTokers, books, resources, and things of that sort. So let's get right into the video because I have a lot of resources to cover. So the YouTubers, of course, I got to start with Bilingue Vlogs, you guys. I have a lot of resources here on this channel and on my website that talk about Puerto Rican Spanish. For example, one of my popular ones is learning Puerto Rican Spanish through, and then I'll put the name of the artist. So we went over Bad Bunny, we went over Eladio Carrion, we went over somebody else that I can't remember right now, but I have those videos if you want to check those out to learn Puerto Rican Spanish, you know, through music, through reggaeton, because there's a lot of words that are used repetitively that they use all the time in those songs that people don't understand. People who speak neutral Spanish or are Spanish students don't understand, so I break those down for you guys. I'll be doing more of those videos with Puerto Rican artists as time goes on. Besides Bilingue Vlogs, we have Daniel El Travieso. He's like in completely like actor mode, like he just plays all these characters. And it's kind of like, it's not like a telenovela, it's like just, maybe you can say like it's a comedic telenovela thing that he has going on there. Funny guy. So, you know, Daniel El Travieso is one of the guys that you want to follow if you're wanting to learn Puerto Rican Spanish because he is indeed Puerto Rican and he speaks like it. The next one is actually one of my favorites because he does, you know, those kind of social type of videos where he goes out into the streets and questions people, asking them questions that are not even really crazy, but it's funny the responses that you get from certain people in Puerto Rico or from other countries as well. He also does some kind of travel videos every once in a while. And he's just a funny guy. Definitely has a heavy Puerto Rican Spanish accent, so you need to check out El Tony. That's like literally, I would say out of all the Puerto Rican Spanish YouTubers, he's probably my favorite one. I'm not a gamer, but next we have a gamer on the list, and that will be Afrito. Afrito, he's kind of like a gamer, vlogger. You know, he kind of is a funny guy as well. I think a lot of people find their crowds through humor. So, you know, he does kind of have a funny side as well. Next we have Hector Riviera. He's another kind of comedian guy. He does parodies with artists, with music artists. You know, where he kind of takes an interview and pretends like he's in the interview. He'll say something stupid and then the artist will have their answer and it would just not make any sense at all. You know, it's just something fun that he does. But that's another guy that you can follow from Puerto Rico. El Tipo Oficial es otro que hace experimentos sociales. He's another guy that does social experiments. He'll go out into the streets and make his videos, but definitely speaks like a Boricua. Next we have Jose Valiente, and he is a vlogger. He just vlogs. He vlogs his life, you know, what he does, things of that sort. I like what he does. So I was like, let me share his YouTube channel because he's just doing this thing out there, living his life, vlogging. The next one that we have, you guys might have seen him everywhere. He has YouTube, he has TikTok, he has Instagram. I think he blew up off of Instagram though. Lewan James. Now he is Boricua y Dominicano. He has comedy parts from both sides. But I think a lot of his videos, you know, where he makes fun of his mom because his mom is Boricua, he'll pull out that Puerto Rican accent. So, you know, make sure to watch those videos, guys. Super dope, super funny if you just need a laugh. Even if you're not Latino, you can relate to some of the videos because, well, at least for me, because I'm black and black families do a lot of things that Latino families do. as far as, you know, how their moms operate. So, you know, I found some of the stuff relatable as well. It was very difficult. I had to do a lot of digging to find women YouTubers, like, you know, successful women vloggers or YouTubers. I don't know how long I searched for this, but I wanted to make sure that I had a diverse list of, you know, not just a male list only, because I know that there are women out there who want to learn the Puerto Rican Spanish. And also, a lot of times women speak different than men. I know it's not talked about much in Spanish, but women speak different than men, just like, you know, in English, women speak different than men. They have, you know, certain tones they say, certain phrases they say that men are just not gonna say because we don't do that, right? So I did find a few women for you guys to watch if you're interested. The first one is Alondra Michel, and she is a vlogger. She just vlogs. That's what she does. She goes out and films her adventures and things like that. Pero es bien boricua, así que you gotta subscribe to her channel. The next one is Kaira Nicole, and she's also a vlogger. She's more so like lifestyle and fashion, but she speaks the Puerto Rican Spanish, so check that one out as well. And the next one that we have is Señorita Yanyi. Yes, she does look Chinese because she is Chinese. She's a descendant of Chinese parents, but she was raised in Puerto Rico. And let me tell you, if you heard her on the phone, you wouldn't be like, oh, who is this China hablándome? You would be like, yo, this person is straight up Boricua. I think it's really cool, you know what I'm saying? No somos solo blanco y negro, papi, tenemos de todo. Pero ¿por qué tú te quieres pelear conmigo? Yo no te he hecho nada. Mira, yo solamente estoy revelándole a la gente, diciéndole a la gente cómo la va. Porque tú no sabes que tenemos mucha diversidad aquí en Puerto Rico. Yo sé que hay diversidad. Tenemos los tainos, tenemos los blancos, los negros, tenemos los asiáticos, tenemos de todo el mundo. Tú tienes que saber. Como te dije antes, suéltame en banda, mi loco. Nacho, pero edúcate entonces. Anyways, that's Señorita Yanyi. Now that concludes our part on the individual YouTubers, you know, people just like me who kind of do stuff like me, who are dedicated to certain things. Now we're gonna talk about the people that are more mainstream. They're kind of like, you know, TV hosts, podcast hosts, radio personalities, and they have a bigger platform because they have actual teams. The first one we're going to start it off with is going to be Gente. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Is it Idrak? Is it Yadrak? I don't know. Yo no sé cómo se pronuncia. No sé de dónde es de verdad sus raíces ni nada de eso, pero es puertorriqueño. I do know that he's Puerto Rican. And what he does is he has a podcast where he talks about current events with urban music artists or people that are a part of that urban world. Definitely speaks Boricua, so you gotta check him out. Next we have Molusco. Between Gente y Molusco, I feel like they're like a mixture of Alofoque Radio in La República Dominicana. They'll take these artists and they'll talk about their lives because they want you to have the opportunity to know your favorite artists, your favorite music artists better. So there'll be a lot of reggaetoneros on videos with Molusco, you know, kind of have one-on-one sessions with him. If he's not doing that, then he'll be talking about something, you know, kind of relevant to la música urbana, o lo que está pasando en Puerto Rico y cosas así, mi gente. I found Molusco not from his YouTube channel. I saw him on this movie called Los Dominiqueños. Obviously, that's a mixture of Los Dominicanos y Los Puertorriqueños. It's a comedy movie. I love comedy movies, and that movie had me dying laughing. Then you have Reggaeton. Reggaeton is also another media outlet. They interview urban artists as well. They all do pretty much the same thing, but they do it in their own way, their own style. So if you want to really dive into that deep Puerto Rican urban reggaeton Spanish, these are the channels that you want to follow for that. The other ones that I mentioned before are the everyday, you know, Spanish speaking phrases and words and accents and tones. But you know, the Puerto Rican artists, the words that they use are going to be more from the streets. That's what I want to say. They're more from the streets. So you can hear that on these channels, like with Gente, with Molusco. Since we're talking about understanding the Puerto Rican Spanish accent, which can be a difficult accent to understand, I want to present to you guys a great resource for understanding Puerto Rican Spanish and other dialects of Spanish from Goodie Spanish. Goodie Spanish is a program that was created to help you better understand native Spanish speakers. A lot of times when people leave their Spanish class or when they're learning on the streets, they may learn one dialect, one accent of Spanish. So then when they're thrown into the real world, they don't know that Puerto Ricans speak differently. They don't know that Dominicans have their own way of speaking. Even though grammatically it's still standard Spanish, you're not seeing how the words change in pronunciation due to where someone is from. Everybody has their own accent. And what Goodie Spanish does is it helps you to understand a lot of different accents. It puts you into different real life scenarios that you might find yourself in, and you can listen in on conversations from people from different countries. And this is exactly what can happen in a Spanish speaking country. It can happen in New York. It happens all the time here in Miami, where you have people from different countries all talking to each other using their own Spanish. You can learn words and phrases from these files. You can hear certain slang words. I think it's a great program for you guys to check out, because you know that here in Bilingue Blogs, we're all about teaching about the variances, the variations of Spanish, the different accents, the different dialects, the different slangs, all those things. So Goodie Spanish will just be another great resource for you to check out. I highly recommend it. So if you're wanting to better your Spanish comprehension overall, not just Puerto Rican, but overall, check out Goodie Spanish. The link is down below in the description. Ya tu sabe. All right, guys, so now it's time to talk about the Instagrammers that you can follow that are Puerto Rican. I'm sure there are so many more people that I just don't know about, so I'm sorry. If you have anyone to add to this list, go ahead and put that down below. Some people that I really like on Instagram would be Team Puerto Rico. Team Puerto Rico, they're always posting funny stuff. They're more like a comedy mashup account, but it's all about Puerto Rican culture. There's a lot of Puerto Rican Spanish on there. You know, it's just relatable content. Next we have Julio Angel TPR, okay? He's also a comedian on there as well. A lot of his stuff is in Spanish. Really like what he has going on there, so go ahead and follow him if you're looking for that. And then also, as mentioned before, for the YouTube channel, we have Lewan James. He's an Instagrammer and also a TikToker as well, but mostly, like I said, known for Instagram. That's where his main thing was. This guy's made it a long way using the characters that he uses. I think it's hilarious. So go ahead and follow him as well. Now, everybody knows that TikTok is on the rise. TikTok is the app nowadays. You can see that with Facebook and Instagram trying to copy everything that TikTok does, right? So some TikTokers that you can follow if you want to learn Puerto Rican Spanish, learn the accent, imitate these accents. Remember, guys, when I'm giving these resources, because you know the school system doesn't really provide these resources for you guys, what you have to do is really just learn how to use them to the best of your ability, whether that's listening over and over again, whether that's replaying somebody's videos and copying their accent over and over again to get the Puerto Rican accent down. That's what I'm providing you guys with these for. The TikTokers that I have for you guys would be, number one, Señor Edison. Well, he is bilingual, so some of his videos will be in English, but a lot of them are in Spanish. So, you know, if you want to learn how Puerto Ricans speak, check out Señor Edison, okay? Next we have Julio Gomez 293. As you can see, this is what he has to offer. This is what he does. Ya tú sabes que es lo que es muy sencillo, mi gente. I don't have to speak much on these people because you guys can see what they do on TikTok. We have Fangirl Nicole. This is one of my favorites because it's a dispute between a Puerto Rican and a Dominican. They talk about how they say certain words and which one is the right way to say it, which there's no right way to say something. If that's how your people say it, that's how your people say it. But I think it's funny to hear their debates, you know, with their Dominican word of the day or their Puerto Rican word of the day. So check them out if you like that kind of content. Call me Clau Clau. I wonder if her name is Claudia. I don't know, but call me Clau Clau. She's funny too. She does silly stuff. She's just on there, just living life on TikTok. So ya tú sabes. And then next we have Kishla Eli. Kishla Eli, she's Asian as well, just like the YouTuber that I talked about, but she's also Puerto Rican. She has the Puerto Rican accent down as well. I think it's really cool, you know, to see some diversity on here. So she's on this list. She's representing hard, representing Puerto Rico very heavy. Ya tú sabes que lo que mi gente. Now, let's talk about some of these reggaeton artists. If you guys are looking to better your accent, your Spanish accent, the way that I bettered my Spanish accent, then you're going to want to listen to music. So everybody knows that, you know, you have salsa from Puerto Rico, you have Puerto Rican merengue, but the big thing coming out of Puerto Rico is reggaeton. Reggaeton and also trap latino. Hay mucho artistas de trap latino de Puerto Rico también. So I want to name a few. You guys may already know these guys, but I just want to name a few. First and foremost, Eladio Carrion es un duro. I did a video talking about him, you know, his Spanish up there. You gotta check out Eladio because a lot of people sleep on this guy and they shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. He got the Midas touch, okay? Obviously, you guys know about Bad Bunny. You guys know about Anuel. You guys know about Ozuna. Don Omar was my favorite growing up. He was my favorite of all time, the best reggaetonero ever growing up. Definitely used a lot of Puerto Rican slang on there as well. Tego Calderon, another one of my favorites. I wouldn't say he was my favorite. He's one that I listened to a lot, but he wasn't my favorite. but I liked his vibe. And then once I learned Spanish, I liked his topics that he talked about. For more modern people, you have, Justin Quiles, you have Dalex. There's a lot of artists here that, have this Puerto Rican accent. Now, when they sing, it may not sound so Puerto Rican. Some of them, if they're rapping, yeah, it's gonna sound very heavy Puerto Rican, but we're not really focused too much on the accent very much with the music. We're focused more on the slang that they use because they're using palabras callejeras, tú me entiendes? Palabras de la calle, jerga de la calle de Puerto Rico. So that's what we're looking for, and that's where you get your notes out and you write these words and phrases down to make sure you're not saying anything crazy around your parents or your Spanish-speaking friends because you don't want to get in trouble, right? Right. And you don't want to embarrass yourself either. So yeah, that's it for the Puerto Rican.
Acho, pero ¿qué te pasa? Mira, dices que ahora mencionaste a Yankee.
O sea, esta gente ya conoce a Daddy Yankee.
¿Qué te pasa?
A mí me encantaba Daddy Yankee en el pasado, pero no era mejor que Don Omar para mí.
Acho, pero Yankee es el mejor, cabrón. ¿Qué tú dices?
Mi loco, ¿qué es lo que tú dices?
Es que la gente no sigue mirando el estilo que sigue gritando, acabando, chocando, riendo, gozando, parando sonidos que mueve la gente en la pista. Se
canta tu baile de Yankee allí. Pero you guys do know about Daddy Yankee, so yeah, all that, whatever. He's not bad, just not my favorite. He's just not on my list. I'm sorry. But that concludes my list of Puerto Rican artists. There are more artists. You guys can check them out on your own. I know there was no girls on that list. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. I just kind of go with who I listen to. So, si tú conoces a una artista puertorriqueña, you know what to do. Write it down below. Now let's get into the things that you have to read. The things you have to read to learn Puerto Rican Spanish. If you go to bilingueblogs.com and you go to my article that talks about the best resources to learn Puerto Rican, Dominican, and Cuban Spanish, you guys will find sites that will teach you slang from all different Spanish-speaking countries. It will have the flag by it, so that way you can see what this slang means in this country, and that's cool. But I have some that are dedicated to Puerto Rican Spanish phrases and slangs that you can check out as well on my website. I highly recommend it. This is how I learned a lot of my Puerto Rican Spanish. So you won't hear these things because nobody's really talking about them on a video, but you will see them, be able to read them, and you can add those to your daily Spanish phrases. If you want to sound more Puerto Rican and you're hanging around a lot of Puerto Ricans, or you're going to Puerto Rico, want to live in Puerto Rico, learn these phrases. They will definitely help you to be more acclimated. They'll help you to fit in more and be able to understand the way that Puerto Ricans speak every day. Because that's what these phrases, that's what these sites are for. However, if you want something more tangible and you don't feel like printing these pages out, you do have the options of getting these books on Amazon. I have my top 3 books on Amazon for Puerto Rican Spanish. The first one will be this Puerto Rican Spanish 101 book. You can take a look inside, I believe, on Amazon and see if you like what it has to offer. There's also the Speaking Boricua book. Great option as well. And then the Speaking Latino phrases. This book is good as well, so definitely wanna promote them on here as well as a good resource because they are. In my best resources for Dominican Spanish video, I talked about Dominican authors that I liked the most. For Puerto Rico, I can't do that. I'm not gonna front and pretend like I have read Spanish books written by Puerto Ricans. I have not. If you wanna find Puerto Rican authors, you just gotta type it into Google and see what you find, or type it into Amazon and see what you find. That's the only resource that I do not have for you guys. But I did give you guys some things to read regarding strict phrases that they use in Puerto Rico. So yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you've enjoyed all the resources. Now you have a lot of resources to learn Puerto Rican Spanish. When you are using these resources, make sure you're listening closely. Make sure that you are imitating what these people say. Make sure you're imitating the way in which they say the things that they say. Puerto Ricans speak Spanish just like the other Spanish speakers. But what makes them unique is their rhythm. Ese cantadito que tiene lo boricua. Their slang, If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Like I said, comment below with any information that I missed here in this resource video, because we are a community, we want to help each other out. And also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share this video. Hasta aquí el video de hoy, mi gente. Nos fuimos.